with that, let's go ahead and look at PulseChain ecosystem prices here. And if you wanted to go ahead and pull that up, I don't know if we have a delay or what's going on with us right now, but we got Pulse at, it's still consolidating down here after it moved down over the last week. We have Pulse at about 4 zeros and a 2438. We have, just looking at the core tokens, we have PDI at 00278. Figured I would throw that in there. PulseX, we have at 4 zeros and a 204. We've got Inc. at $1.40. Hex, where did it go? 005 and eHex at, what is that? 0016 right now. So we have moved down over the course of the last week whenever things got a little bit volatile and lost a little bit of ground on Ethereum right now. This level of support that right around here where we are is where we moved down. Actually, we were pretty much here last week on the show, I'm remembering, because I bought right around here and made the joke that we'll probably go to new lows, and we did dip even more after I bought. But we are around the area where we first saw this low during that strange time when Maria, the Atropa dev, was selling all of his Atropa or something months ago on a stream and yada, yada, yada. That's where we dipped down to this area about at that time. And that's where we're touching right now. So we do have history here. We have some support here, but just kind of looking strictly at the chart, and then we'll get into some more stuff regarding that. But what do you see as far as Pulse anyway right now, Ewok?
Well, yeah, and you said it when we were hitting this area that we bounced off of here as support. Now it's turned into resistance, and that happens sometimes where you just can't break through. It tried this candle here the other day that ended up going up but turning red. Really tried to break through it, but it didn't. You know what I mean? So it did turn red for the day. There isn't a whole lot of movement in the past 4 or 5 days. It's pretty 6 days. It's stayed within a very, very tight range, but it's still, that is resistance from this level back here in May, beginning of May. So. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We really just need to break through this level, and I think we'll be fine. It looks like there is some support, though, that's at least keeping it there, keeping it from falling further, because that was my fear, is if it did break through there, it could be a free fall down at least to the last level at the previous low down here in the 0.00018 area. So that was my main concern. Luckily, it hasn't gone that far. Which tells me there are some still some strong buyers. There is some green volume here these couple of days trying to hold it up there. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. It's hanging in there. There isn't a whole lot of support, but it's there. So we just got to watch it and see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I think if you would look at a lot of the other charts within the ecosystem, we're going to see kind of similar price action. Why don't we just take the opportunity now, since we obviously look at all the Pulse prices every single week, but just kind of looking around here, because we're all in a silo, obviously, for months and months and months, the entire existence of PulseChain. Everybody is... They can kind of only not even see past their own nose when it comes to crypto. So they see what's going on with PulseChain. They're upset with the prices, which makes them upset at Richard Hart, basically everybody but themselves. And, they're pissed off about it. And they don't take into effect that, like, the business cycle has been lacking. Again, we've said it a million times on this show, but Ethereum's $2,500. So there's really not a lot that can happen when it's still 50% down from all-time highs. But just kind of looking at some other tokens that, first off, we'll start with ones that are kind of just the fad, some other fad tokens right now. And then maybe we'll look at the post by B Roots in a moment too and look at this. But just looking at some other tokens that people maybe even within PulseChain also dabble in, or some people in mainstream crypto are fans of, and just see where they have been over the last 2 years, or maybe their entire existence, whatever we really want to look at. But one that I am intrigued by, if you want to go to Sonic first, Ewok, which the sign is literally just going to be the S. Yeah. Okay. So first off, we have the chart up, and that's why I laughed. But first off, this used to be Phantom. So this is a rebrand. And yes, if I don't want to roll my eyes too hard or anything, because we have eHex and then we have Hex. But I mean, if you would go back and look at the Phantom chart, it wouldn't look maybe as bad as this. It would basically just look like a dead chart could come back, kind of like eHex looks like, honestly. But Sonic. So here's the chart. I think you probably have that. That actually might be the daily because it hasn't even been around. Is that the daily or weekly? Weekly.
This is the weekly.
Right? Okay. So this thing hasn't been around that long. The Phantom rebranded to Sonic here. I don't know whenever this happened. I think maybe last January or something. They just got a listing on Coinbase, which may be the reason for this weekly candle looking green. But as you can see by looking at this chart with admittedly not a lot of history, it's not good. It's not looking too great. It's caught some support lately, but you can look at this, and this is a lot of again, a lot of people within crypto are interested in this. A lot of people. I invested in Phantom actually last cycle, so I have experience with some of the folks that are within this ecosystem. And for example, with Sonic, like we all know the narratives around PulseChain, which is like, well, tell me a bullish case for PulseChain that doesn't involve Richard Hart, pumping his own bags or something like that, or whatever else, or the liquidity has been broken up over 5 tokens now, like all different kinds of scenarios, and needing Ethereum to go up, which is the case for really all altcoins. But with Sonic, like one thing to remember here, so a lot of people, one of their big things with this is that Andre Cronje, the master dev, is behind a lot of the stuff that happens on Sonic. He was involved with Phantom last time around. And we should remind you that this guy, for as much as people say that, oh, Richard Hart's on the run, Richard Hart has run away, he's abandoned the ecosystem. Andre Cronje has admittedly himself, first person on X or Twitter or whatever it was at the time, said that he's stepping away multiple times. This guy has left. Okay. He has actually rugged in the form of leaving. There were tokens involved with Phantom last time around that were basically abandoned and caused Phantom itself to drop like 30% in a day. He's, for my money, which is no longer invested in this whatsoever, abandoned it multiple times. So like, why would this guy not do it again? Or why would I count on it not to happen again? And again, I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on Sonic or that I'm looking at everything that's going on the blockchain right now. I don't know what their advancements have been, but how am I going to trust a guy like that, or honestly anybody else in the ecosystem, more than I would Richard Hart, who has set a precedent by literally beating the SEC in court, a precedent that even Ethereum does not have. I know you don't have tons of experience or anything investing in this Sonic or Phantom ecosystem, Ewok, but I guess any thoughts you kind of want to give as we look at the first coin that is obviously pretty goddamn wrecked right now. And I don't know how you can say all the fundamentals are infinitely better than PulseChain, but
so I don't know a whole lot about Sonic. I don't own any of it. I don't participate in any of the chat. I really don't follow any of those guys, so I don't know much about it. But I do know that it was February. It looks like whenever this chart launched. Now I don't know if that's exactly when the migration happened or not, but it made it up to pretty much $1 flat, right on the money. And as of today, it's sitting at about 31 cents. So we're down 68.43% from the time this happened. So again, I don't have a whole lot of input on anything about it other than looking at the chart where, we're just going to zip through some of these so that people understand when they think the world is on fire and it's just PulseChain. I think this is going to paint a little bit of better picture of everything in general. There are a few outliers. Obviously, we have a few, and there are a couple that still look decent. I mentioned yesterday that BNB, it looks great. It's one of the very few that are still up, and everything else is crap. So yeah, we can move on to the next one if you want.
Yeah, Binance Smart Chain is kind of a unicorn. It's really, I mean, it's been honestly, like, other than Bitcoin, the best bear market hedge of anything in crypto. So that it's kind of on its own. It's an exception, I think. But let's look at CHIA. So XCH. So this is a chain that, like, a lot of people, obviously, if you're familiar with the Tang Gang guys, this must be that definitely is not showing the historic chart. It's way older than this, and it actually looks like the Zen chart. But anyway, I mean, we could still look at this, or if you wanted to maybe whatever you want to do, or just put it on the daily or something. But
do you know where? Do you know where it was? Here we go.
Maybe
here we go.
There you go. You got it. Yeah.
This is the weekly.
Yeah, I still think that. I think it's been around since 2019, possibly. So it's okay. You don't have to go the whole way back. I mean, I think this is kind of capturing the vibe I'm trying to set here. But there's a lot of people within Tangang, obviously, that are with us now. This has been a fad chain for people, I think, that are fading PulseChain. And I looked into it a lot over the weekend and just tried to see what they were all about. And their narrative seems to be about exclusively about the tech. They have like a proof of space thing where I was telling you about this the other night, where it's not, we know proof of work, we know proof of stake, but it's proof of space. And you basically prove how much database that you have available to participate within the ecosystem. And it sounds interesting. It sounds like it's an interesting next wave of tech. I know a lot of guys have been interviewing the founder, but they seem to be one of those things where they are relying on what the tech is and it reminded me a lot of XRP in terms of not what the technology is, but the narratives of like, we're going to be adopted by world banks and wait till this happens and this, that, and the other thing. And there just doesn't seem to be enough of a community around it. I mean, I just happen to know about this from seeing like random, guys with oranges in their, nicknames on Twitter and X talk about it and everything. But looking into it, like if you search CHIA crypto on YouTube, I don't know if you guys want to do that and check. The first 3 videos I get every time are like AI made videos from 3 years ago. That's, like a crudely made AI video. There's been some live streams with a founder lately and stuff like that from Tang people. But yeah, I guess what I'm confused by is, as we know, like, the community in crypto is a gigantic thing. Like, it is a lot of what makes it run. It's not like, it's literally a meme to say like, here for the tech, and when I look at the tweets about CHIA, what people are saying about CHIA, it seems like they're all focused on that. And obviously Richard Hart's been talking a lot about marketing and branding and stuff like that lately, which we're going to get to. And I don't know, I'm just not really, forget about marketing and branding, I'm just not even seeing a community really with CHIA, which maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. But there's a chart if you want to speak to any of that or anything else, Ewok.
Yeah, and going back to, again, I don't pay attention to a lot of these things. I kind of keep in my own echo chamber, which is, what I choose to do. But as of May 3rd, 2021, this was up around $2,500. It looks like, and I'm surprised it was that high.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But now sitting at $9.76 for a grand total of 99.61% down. So there's that.
So yeah, and again, it's not like the trend recently looks inspiring or anything like that. And again, I just want to make this clear, because if people just see parts of this or whatever, or go tell on us to the CHIA people or something, it's not to dunk on any individual chart. It's actually to show like a lot of stuff looks absolutely wrecked out here. You know what I mean?